And we want to welcome everybody to the 2013 edition of Inside the Senior Bowl, coming to you on 8730 Sports, live from the USS Alabama. And we'll be back after these short messages with our first athlete. Hey, all you 8730 Sports fans out there, on your way to Mobile, we got to invite you. Come stay at the only place we do when we're in Mobile, Fairfield Inn and Suites, Mobile, Daphne, Eastern Shore. I'm going to give you the address. It's 12,000 Cypress Way, Spanish Fort, Alabama, 32527. Give them a call. Talk to Shannon. Get you a room. Guys, let me tell you about it. First-class rooms, first-class service, and after all, first-class rates. So, again, that's Fairfield Inn and Suites, Mobile, Daphne, Eastern Shores, 12,000 Cypress Way, Spanish Fort, Alabama, 36527. Let them know that we sent you, and we'll see you there. And we want to welcome everybody back to Inside the Senior Bowl, live from the USS Alabama. Joining us now is Jack Doyle from the University of Western Kentucky. Or do you just prefer Western Kentucky?
Just go WKU.
WKU.
Try to sell the name.
The big KU. Well, all right. Listen, thank you for joining us on our show. There we got a few questions we want to ask you. First and foremost, what is your first impression of your first day?
It's awesome. You know, it's such a great opportunity. And that's what, and I'm working, we have the Raider staff with the North team, and, you know, they just keep reminding you how great of an opportunity it is that, you know, you're getting coached up by the best people that can coach you at football. So, you know, I've just, you know, tried to take it in stride and trying to soak it all in.
Well, again, you know, you've got a difference there between your college coaches and your NFL coaches, and you did mention, you know, you got the best of the best, so you know, what are you taking away from what you're learning? It's obviously going to take you to another level, no doubt about it.
Yeah, definitely. You know, you learn the basics, and one thing that you can already kind of see the difference is how important the little things are. Things you get away with in college that, you know, people are just too good and too fast to let you get away with it at the next level.
So they tell you about break some of your bad habits, huh?
Yeah.
What are some habits you got away with in college that you will not get away with in the NFL?
Well, one of my main goals has been to improve my blocking technique. So, you know, that's something that I'd like to work on, and you know, and know I need to improve.
Well, you know, you're playing amongst a whole bunch of very, very talented guys out here. So what are you going to have to do to stand out and make yourself different? How are you going to get their attention?
By playing every play, you know, like it's my last. You know, people always say that, but I really believe in being a consistent player and being reliable. So, you know, that's one thing I've come to be known for in college, and something I'm trying to carry on.
Wow.
Hey, Ken, let me ask you a question. Jack, what was it like at the University of Kentucky coming in? You have Coach Taggart, great pedigree in his background with the Harbaugh family. What was it like to get to play for a coach like Coach Taggart, and how did he prepare you for this weekend's game?
He definitely prepared me. He's awesome, and you know, the offense we ran is the West Coast offense, you know, and that's the offense we're running for the game. So a lot of that stuff is carryover, which, you know, kind of puts me ahead of some other guys when knowing what to do and, you know, figuring out what my job is.
Well, let me ask you one more question. What was the atmosphere around the university when Coach Taggart announced that he was going to be taking another job and leaving the university? And how did it affect you guys any when it got ready to go and play in the bowl game? As far as knowing that this was getting ready to take place.
You know, through my career at Western Kentucky, we've learned that it is a business, and you know, we've seen that part of it, and when Coach Taggart left, we wished him all the best, and I still do. I know he's going to do great down in South Florida, and you know, that's where he's from. So I mean, he had to make the best decision for his family, and you know, I'm happy for him.
Hey, one more thing. Coach Taggart had a thing about a workman mentality. He wanted you guys to go in there and work. You know, remember that this is four-quarter football. How does that pan out now that you're going in and you're going into what is a much faster pace and everything else? Does that workman mentality help you study the playbook harder and get ready? Because you've had to do it your whole career since Coach Taggart's been at Western Kentucky.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we always said we're blue collar, and, you know, and that's an approach I've got from my dad first, and then that I've carried on to my football. So I like to think of myself as a blue collar guy, and that's something I definitely need to carry on.
So you're going to be ready to play 4 quarters.
Yeah, and then some, maybe.
Yeah, because the NFL, you got to play 4 quarters.
Oh, absolutely.
Have you had any opportunity to talk to any of the scouts yet?
Yeah, a little bit. It's been more here in the beginning. It's been more questionnaires and stuff like that, just trying to get to know everything about you. But I think it turns into more, some more formal interviews as the nights go on.
Yeah, well, we had a lot of fun with that last year. Give me what are some of the questions they're asking you? I mean, we had some good ones last year. Let me see if they're any better this year. Not a whole lot to do with football, but go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, you take all kinds of psychology, like the way you think, and just a bunch of different stuff that's just crazy. And they know the psychology stuff, so they'll throw in stuff. I remember a question said, "Have you ever been on a team that punted on first down?" And it's like, well, no.
Yeah, me and my brother took on the neighbors. Yeah.
I was like, no, I don't think I've ever had a team punt on first down. But yeah, they try to throw some crazy stuff in there and make sure, I guess, you're paying attention.
Well, last year, one of the questions that really stood out by the scouts was if you had a chance to kill somebody and get away with it, would you do it?
Yeah, they asked.
Did they ask you that one?
I didn't get that one. They got me on one about if you had to pay somebody back in a game, would you go so far to injure yourself to do it or something like that?
Really?
Yeah,
really?
They try
kind of makes you wonder about the state of the game.
Yeah. So what do you think it is they're looking for with questions like that?
I have no idea.
Well, here it is. They're looking for character.
Yep.
Because there's a lot of talented kids here, and I mean, these are the best of the best, and they can play.
Yeah.
But now, are they going to be an asset to the team in that they're not going to disrupt the chemistry? See.
Absolutely.
And we've seen that time. There's been many players that have done that, and it did not help the team at all. But so that's something they're you might just take with you there, and just they're looking for character. We know you can play, and so just keep that in mind.
Absolutely.
And we'll make sure your head is straight.
Hey, Jack, let me ask you, and getting back to Sunbelt and Sunbelt football. Obviously, you have other conferences out there, and with the state of the conference, Sunbelt football, I know that Coach Taggart doesn't let you guys worry too much about that stuff, but when you started seeing teams pulling out and going to other conferences, was there any conversation amongst the locker room about how that is going to affect the conference next year?
Yeah, I mean, you hear some of the younger guys talking about it. Obviously, it didn't really affect me because this was kind of going on this past year, and you hear rumors about us going to Conference USA and things like that. But you just try to take it in stride. There ain't one thing Coach Taggart did teach us is control what you can control, and and that's something that's just out of your control. So,
well, I want to take you back a little bit because one of the games that sticks in my head more than any, you're going to Middle Tennessee. You're stripped down of the suit, you're stripped down of the tie, and you guys show up in the Dickies and the work shirts. Mm-hmm. How much fun was that, man?
That was awesome, and we wore the blue collar shirts as I mentioned earlier, talking about us being blue collar, and we went down there, and it took more than 4 quarters. I think we might have went to 2 overtimes. I can't remember exactly.
I think it was a double overtime game.
Yeah, but it was a blast, and I think it was our first win of the season. We got off to a rocky start, and we rolled from there.
And you know what? Looking back at that game, because that game didn't just affect that season, but it went on to affect this previous season because you guys started out incredibly hot. You got out the gates good. When you went into Kentucky to play that game, what was it like when you walk into the SEC field and the cards are stacked against you? Everybody's telling you it's stacked against you. To go in there and pull that game out, man, what was that like in the locker room?
It was awesome. You can't really put words around it. It was a blast. That was a game with a lot of ups and downs, and we got out to an early lead, and they battled back, and we had some breaks go our way, which you need sometimes to win football games, and it was definitely a lot of fun.
Well, I'll tell you, if you could look back over your 4 years at Western Kentucky, is there anything that you would go back and do differently?
Absolutely not. I had a blast there. I really did. I had so much fun. Met some of my best friends in my life. Connections I'll have forever, and it was a blast.
Well, let me ask you this. It's kind of on a personal nature. Before each and every game, how do you get ready for it? Mentally, what do you do to get you in the zone?
Before every game, everyone always does every team does a top 10 or whatever, the top 10 plays. So you know the first 10 plays of the game. So I try to run through those in my head, and and always think of the positive things that come out of those plays. And I really don't listen to music. I just kind of sit there and stare, or just kind of get focused up, and get ready to go.
Sounds great. Good.
Was there any one play this season that, if you had to put together your resume, did you have any one play that stuck in your mind more than any that you've had all season long?
One play this season?
This season, because this season was kind of big for you guys.
Yeah. I don't know. It really didn't involve me, but the two, when we went for two against Kentucky, and I just kind of blocked on it, but we threw it to our halfback out on a bubble screen, a lateral, and he threw it back to our quarterback, and he ran it in. So that was to win the game. So that was a ton of fun.
Well, tell me, what was it like going in this year to your bowl game, first bowl game, if I'm not mistaken?
Yes.
What was it like to go in there and get first of all, what was it like to get the invite? And then second of all, what was it like when you actually got to the stadium?
Now, did you guys have like a 40-year drought? Was that what it was?
Well, we just became Division 1A about 5 years
ago. You're
okay.
thinking of Kent.
Kent, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is, we've only had 5 years of eligibility to do it, but this is our first one, and we were kind of still uneasy. We didn't, like I said, we didn't take care of our business like we should have at the end of the season, so it kind of made it a little, didn't know if we were going to get in, but, we made it. We ended up losing, but, I'm glad that our senior class got to go through that, because we went through a lot of downs to get to that point.
Well, normally I wouldn't ask you this question, but since you're moving on and you're involved in what's going to be the biggest job interview of your life here this week, I want to ask you a question. All of the stuff that went on with Middle Tennessee, and I'm sure being in the league, you heard the scuttlebutt about how they were cheated out of a bowl and all that. What's your personal feeling? Do you feel that Middle Tennessee should have got an invite?
I wish they would have. I wish they would have got invited somewhere. They had a good season, had a good team. They beat us on our home field. But, you think back to the year before, we got left out. So, we've been there. So I know how those guys felt. We've been through that. So, for us to get cheated 2 years in a row would just been really, really messed up. So, it's the way it goes, and, those guys need to control what they can control and see what happens.
It sounds to me like Coach Taggart left you with a lot of tools to help you get through not only your football career, but possibly the rest of your life. It seemed like he was a very wise coach.
Absolutely. He's the man. I love him.
Well, we appreciate you taking time to come out. Ken, you have any more questions?
No, that's basically it. You guys, you played well. You're here. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Yes, sir.
Make the best of it.
Yes, sir.
Remember the character thing.
Yes, sir.
And just go out there and show them what you can do, guy.
Absolutely. I appreciate it, guys.
Well, Jack, it was a pleasure covering Sunbelt, and it was a pleasure covering Western Kentucky, and furthermore, it was a pleasure covering you this year. Well, and we want to wish you the very best in your next step.
I really do appreciate it.
By the way.
Oh, you're going to love this.
Well, by the way, everybody that we've interviewed, everybody, and we've been doing this for a while.
Yeah, 14 years.
All of them
are in the pros.
Are made the NFL. Do not let us down.
I'm not going to make you guys that 99% of the time.
All right, Jake, this is a good table to be at.
Yeah, I'm going to try and keep it 100%, all right?
Hey, we appreciate it so much. Good luck with the upcoming draft, and good luck Saturday. It's a very big game for you.
Thank you. I really appreciate it, guys.
You take care, and all the best to you, buddy.
Yep, you too.
All right, thank you. And that was Jack Doyle with Western Kentucky, one of our teams that we enjoy to cover. And we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be back with another great athlete from the 2013 Senior Bowl. And we want to welcome everybody back to the 2013 Inside the Senior Bowl, brought to you by 8730 Sports, live from the USS Alabama. And joining us now is Braxton Cave from the University of Notre Dame, the Golden Dome. And Braxton, we want to welcome you to the show. And man, what a year! you're the type of guy you don't even want to have, individual questions. You just want to talk about the season.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a fun year, a great year to be a part of. Lots of crazy games. Obviously, it didn't end the way we wanted it to, but definitely can't take away the experience we had this year.
How's your Senior Bowl experience going to be for you? How's it been so far? But furthermore, how was the national championship experience for you?
Oh, the national championship is awesome. It's a game that you dream of being a part of since you start playing football, and it definitely lived up to that expectation. Like I said, it didn't end the way we wanted it to, but I'm proud to say that I was on the Notre Dame team that put us back on the map and got us back to where we belong.
Boy, you sure did. And so now you're here. You got a lot of opportunity in front of you. I'm going to ask you the same question I asked the other player here. This is your first day of practice?
Yes, sir.
What is your first impression of this whole Senior Bowl experience?
It's a wild ride. Everywhere you go, there's people who want a piece of you. And, today was our first day of practice. Luckily for me, I put the pads on a couple weeks ago. With some of these guys, it's been a month.
Yeah.
So today was just, knocking the rust off, getting in the system, getting the language down. And, I thought it was a pretty good day for us. So we're having fun so far.
Well, again, now you're getting a taste of the NFL. You're being coached by some of the greatest coaches, around. And so these are NFL coaches. How do you match them up against the college coach? What is it they're teaching that's a little bit different than what you did in college?
For me, it's just the system we're playing in. I come from the spread, and now I'm in the pro style offense. It's completely different. You got a fullback blocking with you, and it's completely different. So, the terminology's different, and it's just taking the time to study the playbook and try and get five guys on the same page.
Hey, Braxton, how difficult is that being an offensive lineman to have to come in and cram what you would normally get several weeks into several hours?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, but at this point it's our job. So we stayed up late last night as a group working on plays, going over stuff. So I think we're in a good position right now. It kind of gave us a head start.
And how's it been with the Oakland Raiders, with the staff? Have you noticed practice the tempo to be very much different than what you're used to? Because I would imagine coming from Notre Dame, your tempo is probably pretty strict there. It's pretty strong.
Absolutely. Today's practice was a lot slower than what I'm used to. At Notre Dame in the spread system, everything's boom, boom, boom. It's like that at practice. You're running all over the place. So, this week's the first time I've huddled in over 4 years. So, that's wild right there in itself, just being able to take some time and regroup after a play and talk to the guys next to you in a huddle.
Yeah, not much time when you're running the no-huddle offense,
right,
and you're moving the ball as quickly as Notre Dame moved the ball this year.
Yes, sir.
Well, you had a chance to talk to many scouts.
Yeah, I talked to some yesterday, and then I talked to some today.
They asking a bunch of crazy questions?
A few.
Yeah,
you get some weird ones, but it's nice that most of the time they keep it to football.
Yeah. Well, last year we had again some of the questions they would ask, like if you had a chance to kill somebody and get away with it, would you do it?
I didn't get that one. I didn't get that one.
I think that one's been banned since then.
What does this got to do with anything?
Yeah.
I guess they graded you on how long it took you to. If you had to think about it, then I guess the longer you had to think about it, the more your stock went down, huh?
Right.
But what the whole purpose of that is they're bowden to character.
Yes.
A lot. I mean, you can obviously everybody here is very skilled, and so the character can really get and ruin a locker room. You get somebody, and we know who they are. But you got to be a real team player, and how do you think you fit in that way? Are you real? You think you're going to disrupt any locker rooms?
No, absolutely not. I'm a team guy.
Yeah.
I love being around the guys, and football is a huge part of my life, and the guys you play it with are just as big a part of your life. So, like I said, I love being around the guys, making new friendships. I've already met so many new guys out here from all over the country, and it's been a great experience.
Well, I'll tell you, being on the Notre Dame team, going undefeated, You got a real good look this year. You know, there's a lot of guys that a lot of teams I'm sure are looking you over, and had great success. You can't win them all, you know, but that doesn't take away from what you guys were able to accomplish. And so, all the best to you. And I'm going to tell you what we tell everybody. We've been doing this now for a while. Not one time have we gotten somebody that did not make the NFL, and we do not want to start with you.
All right.
Yeah, we want to keep spreading that good karma.
We
around.
like that.
Absolutely, I like that.
Hey, but Braxton, before I let you go, I want to ask you a question on a serious note with the University of Notre Dame. How important was the season you had this year for the future of Notre Dame and them being to the pinnacle and being that team that we're so used to Notre Dame being?
Oh, it's very important. You know, I've heard from so many people, not even Notre Dame fans, that they say, you know, when Notre Dame football is having a good year, you know, college football is where it's supposed to be. And, you know, Notre Dame's looked to as one of the premier football programs in the country. And when you're not winning, you know, enough games every year like you're supposed to, you know, you kind of start falling off the map. So, you know, I'm extremely proud to say I'm a part of that team that put Notre Dame back on the map. And, you know, I know that, you know, Coach Kelly's got a great thing going out there, and, you know, they're going to continue their success.
They got a lot of players coming back?
Yeah, they do. They do. They got a lot of great players coming back.
So you think they're going to be in pretty good shape for next year?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Well, we think so too. You know, so all the best to you, kind sir.
Thank you very
We'll be
much.
watching you very closely.
Appreciate it.
You know, keep in contact with us if you will.
right.
I'd like to hear how things been going for you, and hope you land that contract that you want.
Sounds good. Thank you very much.
You bet.
You bet. And that was Braxton Cave from the University of Notre Dame joining us here on the show. And we're going to take a quick break. And when we return, we'll return with another great athlete from the 2013 Senior Bowl.
Yours are the shoulders that others depend on. To be there. To never let them down. And to get the job done. So when there's a lot riding on your shoulders, there's a lot riding on ours.
Welcome to Fairfield Inn & Suites.
Fairfield Inn & Suites by Marriott. Let's get it done.
Senior Bowl coming to you live from the USS Alabama. And joining us now on the show is Nick Kasa from the University of Colorado. And Nick, we want to welcome you to the show and want to welcome you to Mobile and the Senior Bowl.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Like I said, when I first got the list, the north and south, I looked all over the place. I was looking. I need to find me a Buffalo man. I guess, you know, I've lived in Boulder, Colorado quite a while. I'm from Colorado, so a Buffalo fan always.
Yes, sir.
Last year we had old Nate Soldier on there, and you know, he's a tall drink of water, about the same size.
Oh yeah.
Big guy, nice guy. So how was it in Colorado this year?
It is. You know, it was really fun for me. I got to make the switch over to offense, and you know, I was just really loved it. Got to play in a bunch of different offenses. Our season was pretty disappointing, I think, and then you know, at the end there with the coaching changes and all that, it kind of, you know, wasn't the best situation, but
Yeah.
I hope they figure it out, and I know that all they have to do is go up, so that's all they have left right now.
Well, you know what? They've kind of fallen off the map here as of late. You know, Colorado used to always be in the hunt, you know, and then all of a sudden not so much. Producing great players, you know. I mean, they seem to have the talent. What do you think the problem is?
You know, it might just be the consistently at the coaching staff and
Consistency?
You know, they keep getting these new guys in. And, you know, I think that Embry and his staff had it going in the right direction, and not saying that the new coach McIntyre can't get it going. I know he can, and he did it at San Jose State. So I'm hoping they can figure it out there and get things going in the right direction.
Well, you know, you know, we're looking. We feel it's about time, and like you said, they got to get a coach that's going to stay there a while, you know, so they can develop that team. How's your recruiting going? You got some, you know, I mean, did you lose a lot of your team this year?
You know, I'm not sure. I haven't really been looking back at it. I know we probably lost a lot from that recruiting class, and I think we had a good recruiting class going. But when you have a coaching change a month before signing day, it pretty much hurts the recruiting class.
Yeah, I know most kids in Colorado. I mean, back when I was growing up, that's if you're going to play college ball, that's where you want to play for the Bills. In fact, back
Buffalo.
Yeah. Remember, have you ever heard of Bobby Bell?
Bobby Bell. I don't think so.
Nick,
Way before your time.
Sometimes he forgets he was around when Jesus played football.
Yeah.
I guess I dated myself, but he was a real big guy back in the day, and he
back
actually
before helmets.
He ended up playing for the Broncos. Are you from Colorado?
I am, yeah, but from Thornton.
Thornton, Colorado. I lived out there for a little while. Yeah.
And we got some listeners from Thornton. It showed up on our geographical map.
Yeah, that little town
not too long ago.
Yeah, it's grown big.
Nice.
What'd you think of your whole Colorado experience?
You know what? I loved it there. The seasons were rough. It was disappointing. We didn't have a winning season while I was there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's as a competitive football player, it takes a toll on you. And you know, my first 3 years there, I struggled a lot, and it wasn't easy for me. I was disappointed in myself, and felt like I was disappointing people. But it felt good, even with the disappointing season we had this last year, that I could help the team out and finally be useful a little bit. So, that was fun. And obviously Boulder is a great place to live.
It sure is. The old flat irons out there.
Yeah, it's fun, and I miss it right now. I've only been away for a few months, but I can't wait to get back.
Yeah, well, I guess it's about 1 degree out there right now, isn't it?
Yeah. I love the cold.
What do you think of the dead of winter down here?
Oh yeah, it's nice.
Did you call your parents back and say, "Look, we got down to 45, almost had to turn the air off"?
We turned it down for you guys. Usually this is the coldest week of the year.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So
today was gorgeous.
We had our heaters on.
Yeah.
Seriously. Yeah.
Well, now you whatever you did in Colorado, good, bad, whatever your opinion is, you're here, and you're here because you obviously can play football. So let me ask you the same question I've been asking them all. This is your first day at the Senior Bowl. What is your first impression?
I'm still loving it so far. It was good to get out there and play football again. Unlike most of these guys, I've been sitting on my buns for 2 months and just ready to get back at it and get the dust off the pads.
Well, I got to bring this up because we're both from Colorado. And I'm assuming you're a Bronco fan.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Man.
How was it like being coached by the Raiders?
They're a great coaching staff. Even with my love for the Broncos, I like them and what they're doing with us. They got us doing some great stuff.
We're going to turn the mic off, and then I want to know what you really feel. No, I know you're getting a great opportunity here. Like I say, what do you think about our Broncos this year, man? What happened?
Oh man, I was so disappointed. I don't know what was going on with some of the calls there at the end. Why need it when the next week the Falcons won it with 30 seconds left and 2 timeouts?
We lost that game 3 different ways.
Yeah.
One was the timing issue. We have the greatest short passer that's ever been, Peyton Manning. They decided to run.
Yeah.
Okay, and then they burned us twice. They're on the outside right, aired it out, and somebody fell underneath it. So what are you going to do? You put a third guy out there.
We're going to let it go. Get over it.
That should stop it. And he's all, 5 foot nothing? He jumped up and almost got to the guy's chin. So the ball fell over to behind him. That was the other way we lost. But the next year, I think we're going to do a lot better. And, man, I'd like to see you a Bronco.
Man, I would love to be a Bronco. And, if I had a choice, I'd probably say I'd love to get drafted by the Broncos, but I'd love to get drafted by anybody.
Love to be drafted, just don't.
Yep, I'd go anywhere.
Don't be a Raider.
Yeah.
Please don't do that.
Hey, Nick, let me ask you a question. When you get through 4 years like you got through, how were you surprised to get the invite to come to the Senior Bowl? Because a lot of times when teams struggle, you don't really know who is and who isn't looking at you. How surprised were you to get that invitation?
I was really surprised, and not just because of the disappointing season that we had, and obviously that was surprising too, but I didn't have some of the stats that a lot of these guys have. I only had 28, 29 catches, I think, but I had a lot of yards with them. I think I had close to 400 yards, but it was really surprising, even that, and then I was supposed to go to the East-West game. Got the invite here, and I had to come here. Just it's the opportunity, you can't deny. But
if you get a chance to go to the big dance instead of the little dance, you go to the big one.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Not taking anything from the East-West, but this is the next step up, is the Senior Bowl.
Yep.
So your coaching staff with the Raiders, again, are some of the best coaches around. Now you're comparing the NFL way of doing things versus the college ways of doing things. Have they found any bad habits in you? I mean, it's only been one day, but
I think I'm pretty good with the habits. We had some great coaches that were all from the NFL with Embry's staff. Eric Bieniemy and all those guys that were there, and they kind of instilled in me those habits. Even when you fall down, you get up and you finish. And I was doing those things today, and the coaches with the Raiders had some comments about it, just saying, that's good work. You got to keep doing what you're doing, and I think I'm on the right path.
Hey, Nick, how important in today's NFL? How important is the tight end position, and how big of an opportunity is it now versus 3 years ago for a tight end to get a maybe top 3 look in the first 3 rounds?
It's up and coming, and it's kind of weird how it's happened with the Rob Gronkowskis and Aaron Hernandez's and Tony Gonzalez's, all those guys, and it's really in the last like you said, 3 years, it's just blasted out of nowhere, and it's awesome for me. It's a great opportunity with switching over when I did and everything coming out, and I'm hoping I can work my way up to one of those top guys and get picked, hopefully.
Well, obviously, if you're looking around the league, there's going to be a hole in Atlanta. For sure. Could possibly be a hole in Kansas City, because most of there's so many of the great tight ends that are coming of age now, and they don't have the legs they used to have. They don't recover from the nicks and the bumps as they used to. How exciting must that be for you to sit there and know that there are teams that are looking? I mean, they're actively shopping your position.
Yeah, it's awesome, and I hope that I can put some skills and some perspective out there that they'll find in me and get a good feel and get my time out there.
Well, today you had a little time to knock some of that rust off. Of course, your level now, you've gone to the next step up, and you are playing against the best. So when you get ready for a game, okay, let's look on a personal end of it. When you get ready to get in there, how do you get your mind right?
I listen to music. I'm sure a lot of guys do. Listen to a lot of Eminem kind of stuff.
Eminem.
Yep.
Okay, that gets you.
And he doesn't mean the candy can.
That gets you in the zone, huh?
Yep. Gets me in the zone. Actually, the training staff that I'm working with down in Irvine, California, gave me kind of this warm-up to do, and it really helps. Gets me pumped up, and just kind of your legs warm and everything good to go, and that's a big part, especially out here. The warm-ups that we do, are kind of dumbed down before practice, so you really got to do it yourself, and I think just doing what they showed me and all the stretches and everything is really, really helping out.
Well, it all changes tomorrow.
Nick, you might have to explain to Ken, what it's like to be in the locker room listening to the 8 Mile soundtrack, before you go out. Because he has no clue who you're talking. He's
Elvis Presley type Beatles, Beach Boys guy. Did you ever hear any of them?
Yeah, I do.
He's still wanting you to clarify whether it's chocolate or peanuts.
Your dad liked Elvis Presley, I'll bet.
I would say Eminem's a lot more angry.
Yeah.
That's putting it well.
Yeah.
Well, if this whole thing, what is the one thing you want to take away from this whole Senior Bowl experience?
A job.
Yep, love that. Yep. But really, all the experience and meeting all these guys. It's actually funny. I see a lot of guys that I met 4 years ago at the All-American game, Army All-American game, and it's cool to see them now. And time flies. I mean, it feels like yesterday that I saw these guys there, and it's really cool just to meet everybody, meet new people, and hopefully people I'm going to see next year and the years after.
Yeah, well, you're playing against the best, and so you can't do nothing. Iron sharpens iron, as it were.
Yes, sir.
So you're here because you're good, and so you just keep going where you're going. You represent Colorado well. Hope you become a Bronco, but if not, just don't play good when you play the Broncos. That's all you got to do is just throw that game for us. And
that's all you got to do, man. Just don't show up that day, and Ken's happy.
Okay.
Yeah. So all the best to you. You've got a great future in front of you, and I'm going to tell you what we tell them all. Everybody that we've interviewed, we've been doing this now for a few years. Every single buddy that's sat in that chair, all play in the NFL.
Awesome.
That's 14 years worth.
Don't break that. Don't break that.
I won't. I hope not.
All right, buddy.
No, sir. Thank you so
You
much.
bet. Thank you, buddy. Pleasure. And all the best to you, man.
All right. Thank you.
You bet.
And we want to thank. I want to Nick. I forgot you. Is it? I want to thank Nick Kasa with University of Colorado for joining us. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back.
Yours are the shoulders that others depend on. To be there. To never let them down. And to get the job done. So when there's a lot riding on your shoulders, there's a lot riding on ours.
Welcome to Fairfield Inn & Suites.
Fairfield Inn & Suites by Marriott. Let's get it done.
Welcome, Mr. Gilkey. Nice to have you here. And what do you think? It's your first day. What's your first impression?
My head's rolling. My head's definitely spinning. This is not what we're used to up in Chadron State. But I feel very confident. I walked into here with a high level of confidence.
Yeah.
I think this morning was the most nervous I've been in a long time, walking in front of every GM, coach, and scout in the NFL.
It gets fun. It only gets more testing like that. It's going to be. It gets better from here.
Yeah, it was exciting, but it's everything is. There's a lot to soak in.
Hey, Garrett, let me ask you a question, because I can promise you that 95% of our listeners are looking at the screen right now going, where did he say he's from? Where exactly are you from, and where is the school located?
Chadron State. Well, I'm from the west suburbs of Chicago. Don Beebe, a former NFL great, got drafted out of Chadron State back in the 80s, and he was my high school coach. So I was very privileged to be coached by Don Beebe. Great man, great mentor, great person. So he actually was teammates with Bill O'Boyle, the head football coach from Chadron State at Western Illinois. And Bill O'Boyle ended up following Brad Smith, who recruited Beebe to come out there, and Bill O'Boyle ended up taking over the head coach position. So he called up Bill O'Boyle, told him about a 6'6", 240-pound offensive tackle he just needed to take.
And the rest is, should we say, North Illinois history?
Yeah, the rest is North Illinois. But yeah, so Chadron, I joke with a lot of people. I say it's adjacent to Bumfo Nowhere, and
just outside of Elk Snout.
Across the pasture from
Skidmark. Yeah.
Well, you said you're from Illinois.
I am.
From the Chicago area.
Yeah, I am.
So I hate to do this to you, man. Are we Cub fan, or are we a Southsider?
I'll be honest with you. I'm not the biggest baseball fan. I can't stand watching. When I think of watching baseball on TV, I think of it's a hot July afternoon. I want to come inside.
You're 6'7", 320.
I want to come into the air conditioning. I turn on the TV because I want to nap, and what's on? Baseball. So that's. But going to a Comiskey Park or Wrigley Field and watching that is an unbelievable experience, which is a lot of fun.
Well, the only reason I ask is because I make the maiden voyage every other year or so to see the Cubs play at Wrigley.
Oh, okay.
From down here, and I just want to know if I had a fellow Cubby or.
I am a Cub. I'm a Cubby.
So you can't go wrong.
I couldn't tell you 3 players on the Cubs.
Well, either could Ken, but as long as you knew it was a Cubby team.
That's right.
If you put 2 hats in front of me and said wear one, I'd probably pick the Cubs.
Now,
that's all right with me.
Are you a big Chicago Bears fan?
Yeah. My dad actually is a season ticket holder to the Bears.
Go Bears.
Yeah.
The Packers.
Yeah.
Good Bears.
Bears.
Now, let's talk a minute about the Bears. You let Lovie Smith go. Why?
I personally really like Lovie Smith.
Yeah.
Everyone in Chicago can't stand him, which really the fan base is so ridiculous. I mean, what fans know about what really goes on in the locker room or meetings is a lot less than the media portrays. So I give Lovey a lot more credit than most people do. So I appreciated him as a coach, as a person, his character, integrity.
Well, Garrett, let me elaborate then on the comment you just made. Why don't you enlighten all of our viewers what really does happen once those doors close and that game's over?
Well, I would say it's more of the perspective that fans have. A lot of times, fans will so quickly jump to conclusion with the outcome of a game being one person's contribution or one person's failure, and that, or a coach's failure. A coach called a bad play. Well, this person came out. Well, there's so much more that goes into a game than one play, two plays, one person, one coach. I mean, at the end of the day, in particularly Lovey's situation, he was blamed for the majority of any issues. And the reality is he's not on the field blocking.
Right.
He's not blocking Jared Allen. He's
not many people are, though.
No. That's a great point.
Yeah.
But like I said, I am a big Lovey fan, and I'm sad that the Bears let him go.
Where do you think Lovey's going to land?
Would be a good fit for him.
I have no idea. I have no idea. I hope he lands somewhere quick because, he would be a fun coach to play for.
I think Buffalo would be a good fit for him.
You think Buffalo is a good fit for everybody?
Well,
we haven't had a show yet where you haven't pawned a coach off to Buffalo.
Well, you know what? I like Champ Gailey. He was kind of a friend of the show, and we talked about
he touched his shoulder as he walked through the hall.
He actually asked me. I asked him, I says, this is some years ago, I says, I don't know what you're doing in that franchise.
But stop.
I says, but don't you change a thing.
Yeah.
I said, you've got them turned around and more competitive than they've been in years.
Yeah.
And he looks at me and he says, and here I'm waiting for this. All right, it's going to be good. And he says, what's your name? I thought, oh boy, that's it. Jig's up. I'm in trouble. But he was a nice guy. Yeah, sorry to see him go.
Yeah.
But anyway, here you are. You're wanting to get into the NFL.
That's the goal.
Now you've had your first full day of practice, and now you're being coached by the NFL, some of the greatest coaches around. What are they teaching you that's kind of different than what you've learned on the college? And obviously, this is the next step up. So, what are they teaching you that's really different?
Well, my Coach Wallace, my offensive line coach, is an unbelievable guy. He, I think you have this perspective going into the NFL, or people have this notion of these coaches where everyone's uptight, you can't communicate with them. Well, our coach is an unbelievable teacher. If I could say one, he's a great teacher. He's very patient with allowing us to understand things. Just a great coach. So it's you definitely see a level of professionalism that I guess you don't see as much other places. There's a reason these coaches are coaching the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And they're unbelievable coaches. Being able to play for the Lions staff this week is an unbelievable opportunity. They're all great coaches. So it's very, very exciting. But with that, I think the most challenging thing would be not necessarily learning the plays. Coming from a program where I played for 5 years for Chadron. We ran the same plays that we're running now. It's just the terminology and what you're calling everything that's different. The calls you make, the techniques you call. So it's like the terminology, I think, is just the biggest.
Well, we get we talk to the NFL coaches, and something they every year seem to hit upon is, well, you've got the college kids, and everything's obviously much faster and this sort of thing, and they develop bad habits in college. Okay, you hear that a lot. They kind of enlighten you of any bad habits you might have or something you might change to tweak a little bit to maybe get you where you need to be?
Well, today being the first practice, there's not a whole lot that comes to mind. Give me Thursday, Friday, come rolling around and being able to spend some more time. I think I'm going to walk away from this experience knowing that I have a lot to work on. So, and I expect that. I want that because I'm only looking to get better.
Hey, Garrett, let me ask you a question. You get into town. You go through all the preliminary stuff, the weigh-ins, the physicals, and, all the stuff that you have to do before you get that playbook handed to you. how much time have you had to spend in that playbook? Because as an offensive line, adjustments you got to make quickly.
Yeah.
They don't give you they don't give you 3 plays to figure it out. You get a play and a half. How much time have you spent so far in the playbook, and how difficult has it been to pick up, what the Lions are asking you to do versus what you may have been doing, in college?
Well, I would say that the difficulty just comes from the time management. We have a lot going on, a lot of meetings, a lot of just everything. This is an unbelievable experience. We're constantly doing something. So with that, learning any new system is going to take time. It's going to take time. It's going to take patience. I think we get a taste this week of what it's going to be like in training camp. You learn it, you go do it. You see it, you go do it. You hear it, you go do it. And so my head's definitely by the end of the night when meetings are done and I get in my room, my brain hurts. So
right.
It's a lot of information we're processing and getting used to. So your brain definitely is saturated for the night.
So how many scouts have you had the privilege to talk to?
Well, since I've been here, quite a few.
Yeah.
So I'm in the second day in the upwards of the high teens. So.
Are you a little surprised with some of the questions they ask you?
No, not necessarily. I think I was more surprised at some of the personality questions on some of the tests.
Right.
One of the questions was, what would you rather be, a cat, a dog, or the sun? So, but there's an algorithm.
Sweat all day, sleep all day, or eat all day. I mean,
yeah. Exactly.
What choices?
Yeah. So it's no, but no. They just want to get to know who you are.
What do you think they're looking for with those type of questions?
Well, I think in the testing.
Yeah, because they know you can play. You're here.
Yeah, the paperwork testing that we take before we do anything. Yeah. It's all about your personality. It's all about whether or not you're optimistic, pessimistic, active, aggressive. It's all the psychological aspects of it.
How big an ego you got?
How big of an ego? Yeah. You're prideful. You're humble.
Yeah. Are you going to disrupt the chemistry of the team?
Are you an easy listener? Are you coachable? There's really, if you look at the questions, and I'm able to see through the questions and see a pattern in the questions and what really they're asking when they see these questions, and so it's still interesting though that they do that, because you're forced to answer these questions, and it really does. It illustrates who you are and your character.
Well, they asked the question we were asking. We've asked all of our interviews so far, but last year one of the questions they asked the guys is, now if you had a chance to kill somebody and get away with it, what would you do? You haven't been asked that one yet?
No, are you asking me that?
No. I guess. I don't know.
You got your own test going on here.
I guess what they graded you on there is how long it took you. If you had to think about it, your stock went way down.
That's true. That's true.
But, yeah, character is very important to the NFL.
I wanted to ask you, Garrett, coming from a school that's not really well known, were you surprised to get the invite to come to the Senior Bowl?
Well, I wasn't surprised. I was on the watch list, the Senior Bowl watch list from the beginning of the year. So I knew that I was a prospect for it. I was a high prospect going into the year from Division II. Actually, no, I take that back. I was a very low prospect, but through the first few games, the first few weeks of the year, I was able to establish myself and become recognizable rather quickly. And so with that, knowing that the Senior Bowl was a 1-in-3 chance, or however you want to call it,
right?
I knew that there's a pretty good opportunity. I got my NFL Combine invite 3 or 4 weeks ago. I think that was a bigger shock to me.
Right. Yeah.
I wasn't expected to be invited to the NFL Combine. I actually didn't even have a All-Star Game invite until last week. I was invited to the Texas vs. the Nation.
Did you go to that game?
I did not. It's actually next week, and I did.
Oh, it is, isn't it?
Yeah, and so I was very grateful to be asked to play in it. But with the Justin Van Pulpen is a great guy. Very blessed to have him see me and see my performance and ask me to play in his All-Star game. But with the Senior Bowl, is undoubtedly known that there's greater opportunities presented, and that's where I'm in that position right now. Coming from a small school, I need to put myself in the best possible climate and context to show the right amount of people, the right people, that I can be not only a guy that can come into camp and contribute, but I can be a guy that can play right away. I know that there's a knack on me being a developmental guy because I'm from a small school. This week is going to disprove all that. So,
well, I can't tell you how many years we've been covering this thing for going on 14 years, and I can't tell you how many kids and young men from schools you never heard of come to this game, have a big week, and they're playing on Sunday. You know, I always talk to, when we talk to kids, I always look at this game as a big job interview from point A to point B, but the opportunity that you have, you know, how many times do you get a chance to play in front of every scout, every coach, every GM in the NFL in one place?
I'm very fortunate. You know, I'm very blessed to be here. I'm very fortunate. It's a very humbling experience for me. I am nothing but grateful and you know, thankful to be here. So, like I said, I'm taking every opportunity. I think I have nothing to do but just prove to everyone that I am what everybody said I wasn't.
Well, you know, again, you're with I think the top college players in the state. You know, so what do you think you're going to have to do different to really make yourself stand out from the others?
Absolutely. Well, I have a magnifying glass on me already because I'm from such a small school. People want to see, okay, who's this kid? Why is he here? Can he play with the John Jenkins, you know, the Alabama guys, you know, LSU guys? That's what they're going to want to see. You know, I know that I have to come to every meeting, every opportunity, every segment, every practice with the notion that this is the biggest interview of my life.
Right.
And so my preparation for this week is greater than any preparation I've had thus far in my my football career.
When you're here in an all-star game or any big game, you know, especially let's say an exhibition game like this is. How easy is it for you to lose focus with everything that's going on around you? You're pulled in 700 million directions. Everybody wants a piece of you. You know, how easy is it to get caught up in the atmosphere and I don't want to use the word forget, but to maybe get laxed on the important things that you need to be doing?
Well, I honestly would say that's not a problem for me at all. You know, now, yes, are you pulled in every which way direction? Absolutely. You absolutely are. There's a lot going on. That goes back to me saying the last night, past couple nights, your brain hurts by the time you go to bed. But in me, with who I am, I have a really big chip on my shoulder. I have a lot to prove. I have a lot to show. There's a lot at stake here, so I'm taking every opportunity and seeing it as the biggest opportunity in my life.
So how many times has either mom or dad called so far this week and just kind of settled the jitterbugs in the stomach?
They have, a few times, and what's crazy is I'm getting 10, 20 texts every hour, and so I can't keep up with anybody, and so I know my friends are getting mad at me because I can't.
Yeah.
But my parents are very supportive of me. They're coming down this weekend. My sisters are very supportive of me. They're watching me on TV. Everyone from back in Chadron's, tuning in, and so it's people know my girlfriend. I have a wonderful girlfriend. Her name's Kara. She's very patient, very encouraging to me. But that people just know that right now I can't put forth a lot of effort other than here.
Well, Garrett, we just got the wrap by the Senior Bowl director there, so I want to just kind of give you a little heads up, a little karma, a little love. In the 14 years that we've been sitting at this table, and I kid you not, every player we've interviewed has gone to the pros. Don't let us down.
I won't.
We're going to put more pressure on you now.
I'm going to do my best.
He's got to get. By the way, one last comment I want to make. You really seem like you've got your head on straight.
Thank you.
I can't say that with all the interviews we've had, but I feel good about you, man.
Thank you.
You're in the zone.
I'm very blessed with an unbelievable family.
Well, you just keep that up, man, and I'm sure you'll do well. And all the best to you, buddy.
Thank you very much.
You bet. You take care of yourself. Don't miss your bus, and we'll give you a ride back.
That's right. Well, Garrett, we appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight on Inside the Senior Bowl on 8730am.com. And again, that is Garrett, and it's Gilkey.
Yes.
Right? Garrett Gilkey, and I'm not even going to try to tell folks where you're from.
Chadron
State.
The Chadron State.
Okay. You already got your NFL deal done.
The Chadron State.
Well, all the best to you, Garrett.
Thanks, guys.
Okay.
Hey, thank you so much, and have a great game Saturday and a great week this week.
Thank you.
And that's going to do it for this year's edition of Inside the Senior Bowl, live from the USS Alabama for 8730 Sports and 8730am.com. We will see you guys